Okay, so here we've got a live on YouTube Saturday special. And first of all, a warm welcome to everyone watching this. And can I say that as you tune in, can you do me a favor? Please make sure you subscribe to this one and you hit the notifications bell. If you could do those two things, that would be great. And what I really wanted to talk about this morning in my new status of The Walking Dead from Twitter. I wanted to talk about something which I put a little video out over on Facebook and Parler. You can watch it. Same topic, really. It's to do with the cruelty of COVID. Now, I'm led to believe that in certain antenatal wards, in certain postnatal wards in some of our hospitals, there is a problem. These are the wards that look after very young babies who have had difficulties in the birth process and have got challenges. Now, these young kids rely on seeing the face of those who give them care. So they need to see the faces of the nurses, the doctors, the parents. They need to see all these things. But because the NHS regulations, and good morning, Tony. Thank you for joining the stream. And yes, I'm still alive. Yeah. These young kids need to see human faces, but COVID regulations means that the nurses are masked, the doctors are masked, and their own parents can be masked. So it appears that what's happening is that these babies are struggling, and they're struggling because of the COVID regulations. And I don't know about you, but I find that to be extremely disturbing. And then the other side of if you go to the other edge of the age span, what we have is, well, hello again to those joining the stream. Thank you for being here. I know I don't normally appear on a Saturday morning. Maybe I'll make it a thing. The very elderly people in care homes are again being put in a situation where in the final part of their life, potentially the final months, weeks, days of their life, it's very difficult for family to get to see them. At best, maybe one person can get to see them. I think this is pretty iniquitous. I think this is really wrong. It's cruel. It's cruel to stop babies being able to develop. That's wrong, morally wrong, medically wrong as well. What's the first rule of a doctor? First, do no harm. Well, if you stop babies being able to see their parents and the doctors and nurses, you're doing harm. And as I say, and at the other end of it, you're also doing harm. So I find the cruelty of these COVID regulations to be something else altogether. And I mean, someone says my camera is not focused. I wonder why that might be. Not sure why that's not the case. Maybe I give up on this one and try again. But I just wanted to basically say anyway, I'm sure you can hear me even if you can't see me. At a switch of the button, I can turn this, to be non-video. Maybe I should do that. Woo! There you go. And with one leap, he suddenly becomes just. Is this better? You can hear me, but you can't see me. Tell me what you think. But I do think there's a cruelty involved in this, and I think the cruelty does need to be dealt with. And if anything, it seems that having gone through a spring where many elderly people died, and they died because they died without seeing their next of kin, without seeing their relatives. They died alone. And I don't know about you, but I think that is probably one of the most cruel things possible. As we approach the end of our lives, we should be able to say goodbye, and our next of kin should be able to say goodbye as well. But it appears that in the modern NHS, you have to die alone, and I think that's absolutely reprehensible. And by the same token, I think these most vulnerable young babies should not be put in a situation where they too are denied the recognition of the mums and the dads and the nurses and the doctors. So you'll not hear the mainstream media talk about these things. They're too busy cultivating more COVID fear. But you and I and all sensible people will understand that the COVID regulations may well end up killing many more people than COVID ever did. That's not a discussion the MSN want to have. It says, Maria says, it's mind-controlled, trauma-based torture. Tony says, I heard a young mum whose child has language learning difficulties. That child is now deprived of those vital facial recognitions. And you're right, Tony. And these are the sort of problems that we need to tackle. Anyway, look, it's only been a quick broadcast, just dabbling in these areas. But it's nice to see some people actually watching it. So thanks very much for that. And don't forget, folks, you can still find me on Parler at David Vance. You can find me, you can become a friend on Facebook if you're on Facebook. And as regards Twitter, just watch this space, shall we? Who knows what might happen? But in some regards, having experienced the hate of the mob, the sheer frenzy of the far left, in some regards, I am quite happy not to be on it. And as you can tell, and you can see earlier, doing quite well. Thanks for it. Talk soon. Aloha and bye-bye, Space Voyager, and catch up with you folks soon. Bye for now.